I remember now. That noise. Thundering, mechanical. I'm on the train. Of course, the photograph. I was packing at home when I found it. Leo Dormer. My little brother. This is the night I look for him. It's on. I can search my personal files, plus a few public databases. Nothing. Shows how close we were as siblings. An archive of my published articles. The ones rescued from the censors, anyway. Wouldn't be surprised if his name was mentioned in a few court hearings. But I've never had to write about Leo. An archive of my published articles. The ones rescued from the censors, anyway. This lot holds my official documents. Houses change, the paperwork remains. Our guardian's death certificate is in there. Mentions an address where Leo lived at the time. Leo Dormer, residing at 17 Tybau Street. Good start. But I have no idea where that is. Crowded, gridlocked, choking on smog. But it doesn't look half bad from here. I load a map of the city. There. 17 Tybau Street. It's in the new territories. Barking dogs, broken bottles, that kind of neighborhood. Didn't expect any better from Leo. Says 17 on it. I peer inside. Empty. Padlocked. I yank on the chain. Won't budge. I wonder if I can locate a key somehow. Boarded up. Can't pry the windows open. I can see inside though. It's been gutted. I've never been above digging through rubbish. But this is empty. Not touching it is the whole point. I press the button. A crackle. The raspy voice on the other end belongs to an elderly gentleman. He sounds torn between his mistrust of strangers and the need to rant at someone. I switch on the reporter charm. In the end, he's happy enough to talk. So what happened next door? He sighs. A few years ago, the landlords hired a company to renovate it. They never completed the job, and the place was left to rot. Is that why it's boarded up? No, he says. The orphans are to blame. They set up camp next door. They rummage through bins, break into empty properties. He even tried to sell him his own rubbish after he throws it out. Scavengers, he calls them. No good scavengers. Could they be selling items found at number 17? Of course, he says. They'd sell you their own mothers if they could. Not that they have any, I say. No response. What can he tell me about the renovating company? Wouldn't hire them myself, he says. The landlords. He's never met them, but wouldn't mind a word or two about the mess. How can I access the house next door? He has no idea. What did they find in the house? He recommends I ask the orphans directly. I explain that my brother used to live at number 17. The name rings a bell. They didn't interact much, but had been on good terms. Leo helped the old man carry a bed frame upstairs when he moved in. Solid wood, too. He also recalls a gathering to celebrate Leo's university enrollment. Is he certain? About the university part? Yes, he says. A local university, although he can't remember which. Leo moved out soon after and was never seen again. But he was very proud of that, becoming a student so late in his life. Does he remember the university name? UMC or GMU, he says, something with 3 letters. He apologizes. His memory isn't what it used to be. I thank him anyway. I thank him for his time. Be careful out there, he says. Early teens, barefoot, scrawny, only has eyes for his gadget. I venture a few questions. Conversation proves difficult. I'm not sure we speak the same language. Or maybe he has no interest in talking to me. I take great care to ensure he understands this point. Number 17. You. Find. Me. Buying. It's like a light is switched on. He reaches into his bag, revealing worthless junk. A bundle of pens, elastic bound, rusty motherboard, ancient photo frame, chipped wood, slim pickings. I toss him a coin for his trouble. Maybe more questions later. A bundle of branded pens. Says ULS on them. It says ULS on them. The old man mentioned a 3-letter university name. Long shot, but worth investigating. Maybe a few more questions. The old man picks up. Got nothing better to do, he says. I mention the initials. Do they sound familiar at all? ULS, he says. That's the University of Life Sciences. I vaguely remember reading about it. Some riots halted construction a few years back. The building now appears simultaneously demolished and incomplete. Same old model as mine. Nobody bothered stealing it. faded printed note. Statue project led by Dormer. Proposals by Friday. Led by a certain Dormer. This has to be a coincidence. Or is it? I wonder what the statue project is. I wonder where it leads. A small-scale version of the university includes a statue of a torch-wielding man. There's a quote on the miniature plaque, so that society may gain wisdom as fast as science gathers knowledge. A sketch of a statue. Some kind of insect playing the harp. Someone annotated it with a red pen, suggesting the design was approved. The same person also penned a playful acrostic. B is for brilliant. I is for intellectuals. O is for of. E is for exponential. T is for t. There used to be more, but the ink has bled. Two photocopies of the same memo. One is slightly faded. Please validate your temporary addresses with the admin department. I can't prove there's a connection. Flashing, glitchy patterns. I command her attention. Hard to keep it for long. Music's blaring. She slurs her words, won't stop moving. From what I gather, she's been dancing for 56 hours straight. All of them have. It's her event, she explains. Insomnia, a monthly gathering. Like-minded folks testing the limits of sleep deprivation. No stimulants, she says, just music and light. Kids these days. Anyway, time for questions. I ask if the name sounds familiar. It does not. She doesn't need to be asked about that. Why did she choose the university? I thought it was a church, she says. The project mean anything to her? It does not. Okay, that will do for now. It's intense. X, Y, and Z physiology mostly. Books on immunology mostly. I to J section. G and H for histology. Whatever that is. Looks like the bookcases are not in alphabetical order. M to N. Books on molecular stuff and nano things. O for optogenetics. P for pharmacology. So much non-digital data. K and L. Mostly for kinesiology. Books on topics starting with E or F. Loads on ethics and ethnography. Structural, synthetic, and systems biology. All topics found in the ST sections. Most of the books in here must be forbidden by now. Explains why nobody raided the place. Q to R. A large section on quantum physics. The C to D section. Books on cell and developmental biology. A, B. Animal rights, biology, and a large section on bioethics. No mention of the name. The name doesn't appear here. A memo mentioned a project led by a certain Dormer. I'm gathering evidence to link it to my brother. I'm investigating my brother's link with the place. How? A notice about parking vehicles. Some content is missing. Final notice. Vehicles without authorized, forcibly removed from the. Please ensure necessary before parking outside the. I don't think I can. Temporary address forwarding. Biochem, 7A Market Street. Biophysics, 64 Signmakers Yard. Ecology, 86 Keshwang Place. Ethics of Biology, 341 Belvedere Heights. Ethics of Life Sciences, 773 Yanshui Avenue. Virology, 65C Crofton Place. Please confirm with office before. If only I could attach one of the addresses to his name. Definitely dead. A faded printed note. Statue project led by Dormer. Proposals by Friday. Led by a certain Dormer. This has to be a coincidence. Or is it? That's where it mentions it. Filled with junk. Nothing helpful there. The memos only mention addresses. They do not list any. Looks like it's been emptied. A sketch of an insect playing the harp. Someone penned an acrostic that spells B-I-O-E-T. I can't connect his name to it. It must be one of the proposed designs. Was my brother the dormer in charge of the project? Did he approve it? The symbolism might be significant. The acrostic could also be a clue. Of course. B-I-O-E-T. It must spell bioethics. I browsed several publications on the topic. One catches my attention. An academic report on toxic fungi and military operations. Ethical issues with weaponized mycotoxins by Amrita Thomas. But it's the endorsement on the back cover that stops me in my tracks. A quote by Leo Dormer, PhD, author of Sinking the 30 Oars Ship. And Professor of Bioethics and Ethics of Biology. Yes, her book is here. Ethical Issues in Weaponized Mycotoxins. I've browsed it. No valuable clues. No. Unsure if it's the wrong bookshelf or if they even have it at all. If only I could attach one of the addresses to his name. No mentions of bioethics. But there is an address for the Ethics of Biology Department. 341 Belvedere Heights. I expect it might lead me to a colleague or fellow professor. But this is Leo's home.